Hi, everyone. Welcome to our 18th episode of Medi-Veggie. Yeah, I actually counted.
Wow. It's been
18.
that many already.
Can you believe it? We started at the end of August, and here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we
Really?
haven't missed
18?
1 week.
Ah, wow.
Yeah,
Going
I
strong.
haven't felt that time at all.
I know. Oh my gosh.
so everybody, tell us something you're working on, doing, anything good.
Hmm.
I am just going
Okay.
to share this video on my Kinder Way healing page.
What
Go
is
ahead,
the
Matthew.
video? What is your
No,
video?
I mean the our live broadcast.
Ah, so we're,
Just
we're
like
all
good
like
deed
doing,
check.
yes, like technical background stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I guess for me, I was working on a project or reconditioning one of my old pieces for that I was hoping for a big sale.
We've seen it
Yeah,
on
actually, Esther
Halloween.
wore the bunny mask, and I went through and spent a lot of time going into all the details and really making it look nice. The project didn't pan out, but nonetheless, it feels good to get that, looking good again. And yeah,
Yeah, it's also, what do they say? Preparation meets opportunity. So now you're
yeah,
prepared, right?
that was totally the mindset for me because I know at some point this is going to sell, but I wanted to be prepared that if this was going to pan out, that I was ready. So that was my mindset, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And are you,
I'm
go ahead, Esther.
sorry. I'm just wondering if you want to show how it looks now because we've
Oh,
actually, right? We've shown everyone this mask on the show before for the Halloween edition of Medi-Veggie.
Oh, that one.
yeah. So there was when I initially made this piece, I had a very short time frame to do it, and there was a lot of things that I wanted to go over and everything. But I ended up just repainting everything, so it's really bright white.
Wow.
Wow.
It's like gorgeous. Like it's something you would buy and hang it on your wall. Is it
It could
appropriate to
be.
ask you like
Hmm.
prices? If it isn't, don't answer it.
No, it's okay. And what I did on the backside was actually lined. I'm finishing the ears here, but this is all lined with stretch lambskin. Yeah, so everything was just, I wanted to give it the extra detail that it needed. So for something like this, what I was going to sell this piece was for 1500.
Very
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
very detailed. How many hours does it take to make
Oh
something
man.
like that?
So just the painting in this alone, I calculated my time was just 8 hours. The total construction and design, probably looking at over 40 hours.
Wow, a week
Yeah.
worth of
And
work.
that's with, my background and all the things, that I do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a
Hmm.
piece of art.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do like, and I just appreciate it even more that I've given it the love that it deserved. So yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
letting me share, and thanks for mentioning that, Esther.
Well, for our audience who are kind of watching us, wondering what the heck's going on, we're just waiting till 12:15 to begin our Medi Veggie. Can you tell the audience a little bit about what the heck is Medi Veggie, Esther?
Yeah. So essentially, Medi-Veggie is made up of two components: meditation, Medi portion, and vegetarianism, the veggie portion. And with this two-part show, we're just here to share vegetarian recipes and tips to incorporate, vegetables into our diets more often, and just like share the creativity and the knowledge that we and our guests bring to the table. That kind of covers like mental and physical health, and then we go a little deeper by doing a guided meditation every week. And this also aligns with our desire to promote holistic health, because that health comes from within to the outside, right? So I guess if we were to all sort of share our stories, and what brings us to each of these components of Medi Veggie, it would make a lot of sense. But What I am happy to share is that like every guest that we've had so far has been able to align themselves with both of these components, sometimes in really amazing, incredible ways. And we find that there's so much similarity between like a certain guest and like Smita or Matthew or Trami or myself, just because I think each guest is interested in like becoming vulnerable with us and sharing their personal experiences on this journey health, whether it contained a lot of healing or a lot of unlearning or learning. So that's Medi-Veggie.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you, Esther.
So I just admitted something that said iPad. Oh, okay, it's Marcos. Because I'm like, well, it could be a Zoom bomber. Hi, Marcos. You're still on mute, so we'll wait for you to figure that out. But we have our friends, audience. There you go. Hi.
Hi, Marcos.
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
Friends and audience who join us on Zoom, and we always welcome that. And it's 12:15, so I think we can officially begin.
Let's officially begin. So welcome everyone to Medi-Veggie. My name is Esther. I'm representing Chopsticks Alley. And to our Zoom participants, our friends on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, welcome to our 18th Medi-Veggie. As we draw towards the end of the year, we want to continue to thank and appreciate the amazing guests that we've had. We still have more chefs and scholars and artists that we plan to feature before the end of this year, 2020. And that Southeast Asian chef, scholar, or artist could be you. So if you are interested in appearing on Medi-Veggie, you can always email us at chopsticksalley@gmail.com. And with me, we have our regular host, Trami Cron, who is the visionary of Medi-Veggie and also the author of the book Vietnam Easy. She's never talked about it on this show, but we really should at some point. We also have Matthew Molcillo, who is an artist and a designer behind the brand Katra. Katra, which means energy. So at some point, we should also talk more about that. And as always, we have the lovely Dr. Smita Garg, who is an arts educator, an advocate. She's on the San Jose Arts Board, and she is also a past lives therapist. So here we are all here today, as usual, on Wednesdays. And today's theme is self-care. So Trami, do you want to go into why you picked this theme for this week?
Because the spirit spoke to me. I don't know. No, we've decided to do self-care between all of us because, it's time to focus on something positive instead of always the negative. My chair is like sliding away. Like, I'm not sure why. So back to self-care. Okay. Maybe the earth is shifting a little bit. So it's good for us to start to think about that as we are ending the year, beginning a new year. I think self-care matters because as we take care of ourselves, we can better take care of our community, friends, and family, right?
Yes.
So to begin with, the self-care, of course, is what we eat, what we put in our bodies. And I think today, Dr. Smita is going to be sharing with us the beans that she grows in her home. So Dr. Smita, tell us more.
It's kind of funny to hear you say that. Beans that I grow in
beans. They're magic beans.
So one of the things that I picked up, from my Indian heritage is soaking beans. And, I know that I'm on air and I'm claiming to do this on a regular basis. Honestly, there are days I forget to do this. But lately, I was reminded to do it because we, like Trami said, end of the year, we're all kind of feeling a little bit exhausted, right? This year has been a roller coaster ride. And we are feeling different levels of exhaustion, just ready for the break. I hear from my children's teachers, right? So my kid's teacher was telling me yesterday how she has pain in her neck and her back, and it shoots up her arms, and she's been going for acupuncture. being on our devices and just kind of constantly just this is what we are doing. What happens is these devices often sap our life force energy, prana or chi. And what beans do when you soak them and you grow them or sprout them is that they increase the life force energy in your body. So here's what I do, I basically take a whole bunch of like a fistful of 3 beans, but you can use pretty much any kind of bean you have. And especially for vegetarians, because they don't even get much protein, beans are a very important source of protein, any kind of lentils or beans. And you can soak them overnight, or, you don't really need to soak them more than one night. And if you have to, then I would recommend changing water because it begins to get a little bit, not very good.
Stinky.
Stinky. Stinky and frothy. So here's what I do. I have these beans that I soak. This is a special kind of gram. It's found in India. It's not the chickpeas that you get, but it is a variety of chickpeas, and these are brown, super healthy. In India, these are fed to the horses, because it's so healthy. So I take the black-eyed peas right here. I take mung beans. So I'll show you my spoon here. I take mung beans and I soak them overnight. And you can see that, this one here, it's already sort of sprouting a little plant right on the top here. And then after you've soaked them overnight, the next morning you throw away the water. I actually keep them in a dark space. What is the darkest space in my kitchen? It's my oven. So I keep it in my oven. I cover it, and then after I've thrown away the water, I put it back in the oven, and I keep it covered. And I think within 2 days, I have a pretty nice sprout. So these are actually going to go back in the oven tonight, and they'll probably stay there another day or so
But
for me to get.
don't turn it on.
Yeah, don't turn on your oven. Exactly. What you can do is they need a little bit of warmth because they sprout more easily when the temperature is warm. So you can turn on the oven light.
Oh, the light. Okay.
Yes. But do not turn on the oven.
I have a question about the mung beans because they sell the version with the peel on it and then the version without. Does it matter which version?
The peel has a lot of nutrients in it. So I always get the whole mung bean from the Indian store for sprouting.
Okay.
And
can you sprout the one without the peel?
I'm not sure. I've never tried it.
Worth a try.
Worth a try.
Yeah, if it is whole, I am sure it can sprout. But in Indian stores, you get every lentil or bean in, not every, but them in four different forms. So you get them whole green, you get them whole yellow, you get them split green, and you get them split yellow. So there's 4 different ways you can prepare and eat mung beans.
Yeah, you can get them in the Asian stores. They're everywhere too.
I also wanted to show this. So I have this, these are containers you can also get in the Indian stores. They have like little holes in them. And these are great for storing your sprouted beans. So after you've thrown away the water, you can just, put these beans in here. And you can put this box in the oven. and
That's so
it
cool.
has just the right amount of warmth and light that it needs to germinate.
Oh, so
Yeah, and
you don't
it
need all that
allows.
cloth and
Nope,
how
Mm,
on
nope.
YouTube that's what they show us.
Yeah, and I'm
Huh.
sure you can
cool.
order these online.
Hmm.
So what are they
So
called?
these are just called dabbas or katordan, you
Mm,
know,
I,
and you look for the perforated ones.
yeah.
Just,
so
you know,
perforated, but are they intended for to grow beans or are they intended for any
you can
purpose?
also store your chilies like chili peppers and things like that in here, or leaves that you use. These are really good. These go in the refrigerator. They go, you know, you can use these for storing anything that you want to keep fresh.
Hmm,
Um, yeah,
I like
I
that.
like
Yeah,
that they're
yeah,
perforated for ventilation. I think
yeah.
that's,
yes,
that helps a lot with
exactly.
allowing something to sprout.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So mung
it's
beans
so
are
interesting
supposed
that
to
you.
be, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was saying that mung beans especially are supposed to be great for those with high blood sugar levels. So if you have like a handful of mung beans, sprouted mung beans every morning, you know, on an
Hmm.
empty stomach, uh, they work wonders with your blood sugar level. They really, you know, so we add them to, you can add them to your salads. You can add them to, you know, pancakes. You can do a lot of stuff with them.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I want to try that because so I'm. It's good that you said it only takes like 2-3 days because on like these YouTube videos, it seems longer. And so when I did mine so long, they start to turn brown. I'm like, I think that's overkilling them.
So what I've seen in the stores is that they sprout them enough that they sprout leaves. And honestly, that's not how far I go. I just
Ah.
wait for the shoot to be maybe about half an inch long,
And you eat them raw.
and
You don't
that's
really
good
cook.
enough.
You can just eat it raw. You don't
Yeah,
need to cook it or anything.
you just eat it raw.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like if it's like a few days old, I wouldn't recommend eating it, you
Mhm.
know, because then it starts to go a little bit, you know, it doesn't taste good raw. So then you can steam it. And steaming, after steaming it, you can add spices to it. You can add veggies to it. You can add onion, you know, chopped tomatoes and things like that, and put something savory and spicy in it and just eat it like a
Hmm.
snack.
Good. Well, thank you. That's a great tip. I
Yeah.
like it. It's
Yeah.
easy. It sounds
Yeah.
easy.
And I thought it was really interesting that you brought up, it was talk about alignment. I was literally thinking before we started our event today about the life force contained within foods. And given that we are living creatures, that it's so important um, to fill our living bodies with also living things. And that energy is really powerful.
Yeah.
Um, and it promotes life. You cannot promote you can promote life with life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and that's what I learned when I went raw was how valuable the enzymes, because it's the enzymes which are the life force, and that's what was really um, it keeps us satiated versus eating more dead matter and stuff.
Mhm.
And I found that out that I was actually feeling more full and more alive when I was eating more living foods.
And I would not recommend eating a live animal though. That would not contribute to creating a higher level life force.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So just have to be mindful of that. That
Well,
Mm-hmm.
plants definitely help, but
Yes.
eating a
yeah.
living live animal does not really help.
Yeah. Well,
That's
speaking
true.
of life force and dead things and alive things, this morning I woke up and I don't know why I did this. So I watched some YouTube video about some haunting thing. So
That's
first
up your
it was
alley.
it is up my alley, isn't it? I can't get away from it. I'm just kind of obsessed with like hauntings and stuff. Not possessed, obsessed. So this Hellier house came up. So in San Jose, there's a house on Hellier Street that's like really famous for being haunted. But okay, forget that one. Another video I saw was in Atlanta or something like that, where they had this whole house haunting thing. But we can talk more about that after meditation. Because,
Good
I know,
catch.
yes. But,
Are you sure? Are you sure you want to talk about that after meditation?
maybe I need the meditation, so I don't need to focus on that anymore.
No,
Dissipate.
I'm just gonna say this, because I know there's so much obsession about haunted areas, and people also ask me, well, are there spirits hanging around, us? And so here's what happens when a person dies, their spirit or their soul is supposed to leave the earth plane and move forward. But sometimes when their earthly body, when they're not ready to fully let go because they feel like they have some unfinished work,
Yep.
sometimes they might want to hang around a little longer just
Yeah.
to finish that work.
Yep.
There's nothing scary about it. There is nothing, it's not like how they show in the movies. Um, if anybody has that experience, they can just say that, hey, you died, you're done with this world, just leave the space. So, I mean, I really don't work with that area at all. So I can't claim to be an expert in that area, but sometimes in my work, people have mentioned, I do work with souls. And when you are working with the highest level of energies, when you're working with the highest level of souls, then those kind of souls that are just hanging around and just like doing nothing, they don't really bother. Like they don't, it's just what they show us in movies, and they condition us into thinking about stuff. But really, it's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think with that, go ahead, Esther.
I mean, I was going to finish your sentence. Dr. Garg, if you could introduce today's meditation for us.
Yeah, so, when we started thinking about self-care, now all through my meditations, the theme of um, being able to do things on our own uh, without creating codependency, it's super important to me in my work. And that is why all my meditations are about each one of us being able to do certain things, sitting with ourselves, visualizing. Um, it gives us the power, to be able to heal us without having to go run to a doctor or run to any kind of uh, medical person or healer constantly, right? So we all have the ability to heal ourselves. Our bodies are made in a way that the bodies can heal if we just start talking to our bodies and we start making ourselves a priority in our life. Most of the time, we are taught to care about others. Mothers are conditioned to think that they should care about the children or other family members. And they're often taught that if they spend time taking care of themselves, then it is wrong. And similarly, we have all these preconceived notions in our culture, in all our cultures, how people should be. And I think that has created more of a problem than solved any, because I know I have been that mom who has been hungry. And when I look at my kid, the culture was like, feed your kids, feed your kids. But I realized that when I fed myself first, even a little bit, I calmed down and I could feed my children peacefully and lovingly instead of yelling at them and getting upset and being angry, right? So I am a big proponent of self-care and a big proponent of getting rid of codependencies. So today's meditation is about taking care of ourselves, of who we are inside, and also our body. And once again, it is a channeled meditation. So let's get started. Okay. So, as we approach the end of this year, it's been a really difficult year, hasn't it? And there seems to be an exhaustion in our being, physical, mental, emotional. At every layer, there seems to be an exhaustion. And it is during times like that when we feel so exhausted and tired and experience a loss of control on our circumstances is when our spiritual level comes very handy. And it is because the spirit is constantly connected to the universe and to the earth's energy. The energy of this universe is inexhaustible. So if we can tap into it, we can release our exhaustion. Most often when we are not connected to our spirit, which is the true life force in all of us, is when we feel more exhausted. And we may do things outwardly, but we may continue to feel really crappy within. So let us spend the next few minutes connecting with our spirit and with the life force energy around us by focusing on true and deep self-care. Take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs completely with fresh, invigorating oxygen. And hold the breath for a moment and release through your mouth with the ha sound. Make the exhale longer than the inhale. Once more, take a deep breath, filling up your lungs and stomach with air. Hold for a moment and release through the mouth. And one more deep breath. And release. Feel the relaxation, the calm, and the quiet. Envelop your entire body from within, the whole being. Just a few gulps of fresh oxygen are like magic. They have a tremendous ability to revitalize us, our system, And now just sit quietly and breathe normally. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And in this quiet state, visualize yourself under a gently flowing waterfall. It's a beautiful waterfall with crystal water. It's surrounded with beautiful white flowers. And as the breeze flows, the flowers move very gently. And the water falls on your body from your head to the toes. Every drop of water soothes you, caresses you, and cleanses you. Allow this waterfall to touch every part of your body. Allow the water, this beautiful crystal clear water, to wash away all the tiredness, the exhaustion, the aches and pains in your body. Think of that one area, physical or emotional, that is the cause of your discomfort at this moment. Whatever comes first to your mind is good. It is what needs most attention from you. Feel the falling water, the fresh, clean water. Fall on that part. And wash it away. Feel it taking it away from its roots, unearthing it and releasing it back into Mother Earth to be transformed. Now think of another part that may be a source of constant pain. And allow it to be washed away as well. And now step out of the waterfall, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. Imagine drying yourself with a soft cotton towel, letting it remove any remnants of the painful parts. You may go back to this waterfall anytime you're experiencing pain or exhaustion. This is your way to connect to the life force present all around us and within you. You can do this anywhere, sitting in your car, sitting under a tree, sitting on your sofa. Just close your eyes and go back to the waterfall and allow the crystal clean water, the magic elixir given to us on earth. Allow it to clean your body from inside out. Take a deep breath again and release. Feel a comforting warmth move up the bottom of your feet, all the way up your legs, your abdomen, your lungs and chest, your back, your shoulders and arms, your hands and fingers. Feel this warmth flow up your throat, your face, and underneath your scalp. Feel this beautiful wash of warmth come over your entire being. And take one more deep breath and release. Feel the deep rest, the self-care you have given yourself, the connection with your spirit. Namaste.
Thank you, Smita. That
You're
felt
welcome.
cleansing.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Smita. It's coming out of those. It's so relaxing. Oh, yes. Your voice is just so soothing on top of all of the visuals, so it's much appreciated.
Thank you.
I'm constantly amazed at how fast the 15 minutes go, right? It feels like a blink of an eye. So for those who think about, oh, I can't sit still for 15 minutes, you can. It's not that hard.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
So, Marcos, did you have a chance to do a little meditation? Because I know you're out in nature, but,
Yeah. I'm watching the fountain here and the flowers, the roses and everything. And like he's talking
Great.
about. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, what I love about these meditations is that you don't really need me you don't need anybody else. You just close your eyes and you can take yourself to that visualization and take care of yourself that way.
Yeah.
It helps to
I
have your voice, though. It's just, right? Because my brain's like, it goes back and forth all over. So it helps to stay focused. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call it meditation practice. And it's taken me a lot. I remember when I first started, I think for the first couple years, it was all guided. Everything, every audio tool, I think I used Headspace for to help me. And then it wasn't until later on where I would sit in the void and just work on being present and allowing thoughts to come and go. So this is always a nice appetizer to what I normally do. The visualizations, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this, because the way we've created this program is this half hour of respite, right? So it works really well in that format.
Absolutely.
I feel like I do meditation when I go hiking, because I feel like I'm doing like what we're doing when we're meditating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
That is-
absolutely right. That is meditation.
Mhm.
Yes.
Being present. Yeah.
It's very relaxing
Yeah.
for me. For me.
Are you still working during this pandemic, Marcos? I think you're in construction.
No, I'm not working. Some of us went back to work in May. Then I heard people get sick, and it's not safe. I don't feel safe, so I'm not working.
Yeah.
And I just saw some coworkers post on Facebook this past week, them at someone's house at a party playing pool, no masks, my coworkers.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
good that you're taking time like this to really care for yourself and be mindful. I think
Absolutely.
there's a lot of strength in that, a lot of courage. And
I'm very scared to get sick because I've had pneumonia before, so I'm really, really scared.
Yeah.
So
But
that's a motivator to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week alone, for those who are like, oh, it's a hoax. It's, COVID's a hoax. And let's all go hang out with our buddies and sing karaoke. This week alone, I know 3 people who have passed or their family has passed. And one young person who got COVID and he's recovering. So just this week alone. And unfortunately, one of the story was, so I guess I actually know more than 3 who passed. This caretaker specifically takes care of Vietnamese elders. So he goes into their homes, and many of them live with their children. But, he comes in and takes care of like caregiving type personal stuff, right? So next thing you know, we got news that our friend passed, and the reason was because the caregiver was a carrier, and the reason was because the caregiver was a carrier, and he took care of 5 elders, and 3 of them passed because of COVID, all in the same week.
Oh my gosh.
So it's that, right? This irresponsibility, or who knows, maybe he didn't know. I mean, who knows how he got it. But
I think that is the thing with COVID, that people can feel perfectly fine and still be carriers, right?
Yeah.
Which is why the responsibility comes in, that if you are, aware of the fact that you could be carrying it and you could pass it on to people, which is really easy to pass this on actually to people. I think that's the thing about COVID, that it just is so easy to infect others.
Yeah, and the things that most folks don't think about is now that there's a body that has COVID, the body is treated very differently, right? So if you're coming from a cultural background where your body and the way it's handled during death and whatnot, this affects that process. So there won't be a funeral, so there are things, and every state does it differently. So this particular person we know is from out of state, so they cannot have a funeral. Obviously, even if they had one, it can't be open casket, and if that's part of your belief system, so they have to be cremated right away. There are all these things that no one thinks about, and if it's part of your cultural heritage to do certain things to help the soul pass, to the next life, you're now prohibited from doing certain things. And even your normal hospital experience or going to the doctors, because, you know, you have some other ailments, has completely changed. And we have friends who have to go to a hospital and they're like alone. They don't speak English. So can you imagine being elderly? You don't speak English, but your friends and family cannot be around you. Yeah. How the heck? Not only you can't communicate, but whatever they're telling you, you don't understand. I mean, it's really scary. So I wish people were more conscientious outside of themselves, and be aware of others. So it's
and I was also reading about a friend. She had just posted on Facebook that she was feeling something in her heart area, and so she was debating whether or not to go see the doctor or go to the ER. And eventually her doctor said, no, you better go. So she said, okay, I'll go. And she had to go in for a procedure because it was something serious related to her heart. So even people who don't have COVID are rethinking, they're having a hard time deciding whether or not to go see, seek medical care when they are going through something that could be potentially serious. So this is what happens when we are being irresponsible and just spreading the disease, we are creating a lot of issues for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary because your health is dependent on other people. So that's what's really scary.
Yeah.
So, if there was ever an event that just underlined and then highlighted and circled our connection to each other, it's definitely this pandemic, because we talk about how much we've realized we need each other, this face-to-face social connection for our well-being, but it's also underlining how you can't even actually avoid that natural cause. Every action has a repercussion. It's, sometimes that's a beautiful thing and sometimes it's so harsh.
True. And I do want to highlight, though, that, being scared or fearful actually doesn't help. I think it's important that we are aware. So being aware that this is how this disease works, this is how this virus acts. And then we accordingly shape our behaviors so that we actually help get rid of it is what is needed. What happens when we are in a state of fear is that our body then becomes less immune, and it can catch a lot of different things. So we actually make it easier for us to catch a virus if we are in a state of fear. So I keep telling my kids also, because sometimes they're like, Mom, don't go there, don't. I'm very, very careful, but I cannot live in fear, right?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you touched on that, Smita, because like the adage goes, fear is the mind killer. Well, it also kills the body too, weakening our immune system. And there's an energy field that surrounds all of us. And in a state of fear, that vibration, that field reduces and reduces and reduces, and then we become more susceptible. So taking the time to do things like meditation, to eat healthy. There are measures that we can take to elevate our vibration. That means distancing from media too. That's going to help a lot. And imagining and visualizing yourself being healthy and strong, because the body's most powerful ability is its ability to heal from whatever. And if we can embody that, that's going to set a lot of things in motion within our body. So it definitely, the coherence between our heart and mind, creating the powerful energy field around us, which protects us as a barrier.
And a good practical tip too is keeping our guts healthy, right? So taking probiotics.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of diseases can be prevented if we keep our guts healthy.
And this helps with that too.
We should do a little talk on kombucha one of these days.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all. I like taste it. I'm like, why? Why does
if it's made really well, If it's
Yeah,
made
if it's
really
made well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
it's really good. I love kombucha.
There are some out there that are very strong and very effervescent. There's some that are more mild and sweet. So it all depends on the brand that you try.
Yeah. I guess my first taste was from some homemade thing because I used to live in Santa Cruz, the land of the woo woo.
Right.
First of all, it
Hippies.
looks totally nasty, right? Because there's like a mother or something, like
Yeah.
a mother kombucha or something. And I'm like, no.
Mhm.
So
It's
yes.
called the SCOBY.
The SCOBY.
Yeah.
Actually, I've had a SCOBY sitting that a friend gave me like months ago because
Yeah.
I'm planning to make kombucha at home, and that's one of my
Mhm.
projects next week when we are on a break from everything else, not Medi-Veggie, but everything else. I'm planning to make my own kombucha.
That's
Wow.
so good. Another one we could do is fermented veggies because I used to make about 5 pounds of kimchi raw, and it
Yeah.
was just
I like.
and it lasts forever. It's so good.
Nice.
I would definitely like to do that too because
Yeah.
all my kids, both my kids and I, we just love good vegan kimchi.
Yeah, and it's like cabbage and daikon and carrots and it with you can add spices to it and I have actually there's a kit
Mhm.
they use it for making for brewing beer. It has a vapor lock on there and you can literally watch this thing, all the bubbles and stuff and the brine move around. It's really cool.
Leave it to
Oh,
Americans to, add some mechanical component to making kimchi.
It's just literally a glass jar with a little vapor release valve. It's so easy. Yeah.
So, Marcos, do you have vegetarian recipes or tips you want to share with us next time or some future show? Because I feel like
I've
you're an expert now.
I've been keep eating and thinking, and as I was growing up, I grew up on Mexican food, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it had manteca or something. It's like,
Right. Menudo.
yeah, menudo, yeah, maybe menudo, but then it has tripe. I don't know.
Right.
Everything has meat in it or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything I could think of. That's how we grew up.
I guess
Cheese,
tamales. I mean, that's if you do like a
tamales,
vegetarian tamale, yeah,
yeah.
with
yeah,
the masa. Yep.
Hmm.
something like that. Yeah.
I
So
love
I'm still
masa.
thinking.
I
Mhm.
love tamales. Like
Yes.
they are my weakness.
Yep.
If I do something though, I have to wait till I'm in my RV because I'm not using the kitchen right now because other people use it and
Mm,
I'm social distancing, so I don't even get near the kitchen. So I don't have the kitchen right
mm,
now.
mm.
So
Oh.
Wow.
yeah, I
How
stay
are
away
you
from.
managing? How are you managing? Are you eating out like
I eat
every
a lot of
day?
canned food and I make some food, but I make a bunch for like the whole week and I put it in the fridge and I just go to the fridge and get my food and put it in the microwave. Like I
Hmm.
make a bunch of burrito or sandwiches or something, but I wait for nobody to be in the kitchen before I go in there and it's just it's not an ideal situation to have roommates right now. So
Yeah.
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 and so that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah.
See, everyone
So
has these different scenarios on what's happening, right? With this COVID. It's ridiculous. Like,
Exactly.
I haven't seen my parents, and our friends haven't seen their
yeah,
parents because we're like, well, you can't fly,
Yeah.
like we don't
yeah,
want you to. Or if you come here, but what if we are carriers? So if they come
Hmm.
here, I guess we have to go and drive them because, they're old. I don't want them to drive through the
Yeah.
mountains. Okay, that's fine. We can pick them up in here. But then that means we should get tested all the time. So that,
right.
like there's so many things you think about. And
Yeah. And my parents are in India, so it's like I don't even know how I can do that trip, right? Like it's over 24 hours of flying to
and you
Oh
get
have to
wow.
there.
have this thing on for 24 hours. I can't. I'm sorry. Even for
Yeah.
5 minutes, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. My dad wanted to fly over for the holidays, which he usually does, and I told him, no, no, don't come over.
Yeah. And if he
And
came,
yeah,
where would he stay? If he came
Yeah, and
and you
then
can't cook for him.
give COVID to your parents, that's the worst,
That's the
right?
worst.
oh,
That's
I would
why
feel
I'm
so
That's
like,
the
guilty.
worst.
Oh
yes,
yeah.
I will find someone else to blame.
Or if he gives it to me, and how would he feel? I mean, that would be
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. No, I would blame somebody else. Okay, I'll find some mental loophole to blame it on someone else because I don't
And
Blame
think
the
that's what they
pet.
do.
yes.
That's what they do. I have relatives that got COVID, and they won't admit it. They're
Yeah.
not telling nobody.
Oh.
I
That's
I'd
have
be
a
like,
cousin that
that
long
died
man,
ago.
yesterday.
petted my dog, and the dog brought it in. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I think
No,
that's
it
the
was a fly
hardest.
that flew in and landed on somebody's hair.
Oh my! All these scapegoats.
I know. Personally, for me, this COVID thing has been just reminding me about accountability, or transparency, just honesty in general, you know, like, because like I will take risks sometimes, you know, I'll go out and do something. And just for me, it's just a matter of making sure people I'm in contact with know. So like my housemates, Matthew, you know, whoever Matthew's in contact with. Because the worst thing would be to like affect someone and they had no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
What dangerous
All right.
things are you up to, little Esther?
seeing Matthew like nonstop.
It is. We're kind of like partners in crime on this.
But you're in the same bubble, right?
We're
We
kind of
do
moving
have
the
a
same bubble.
pod. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
like
have
me and my two housemates, him and his parents, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
As long as you stay in your bubble, I think.
Yeah.
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 And Esther has
little
also helped bring awareness for me too, you know, when it comes to this as well, because I have my views on things, and she's helped broaden my perspective with awareness and accountability and stuff. So
Yeah, it's because sometimes I'm like, F it. Everyone else is out and they're not sick, right?
Exactly.
Like,
we're humans.
Yeah.
We take
Yeah.
risks.
it's like, come on, who cares? It'll be fine. Just like a cold, you could recover,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I do think that sometimes, right?
Yeah,
But I'm like,
sure.
yeah, but it's not me. It's for other
I
people.
know.
No. Yeah.
But then when you go out, like it feels so good. Like every 2
Uh-huh.
weeks we'll go and see my family, my parents who are local with my brother, you know, and it's so nice.
It's
And they get to
wonderful.
hang out with Matthew, like makes me so happy.
Oh.
It
I
makes
feel-
you appreciate things so much more, my gosh, you know, because when we're around people all the time, it's just something we take for granted. It's what we do.
Yeah.
We can say no. But when you have that opportunity to be in an intimate space with the people that you love, you know, like I get to spend time with Esther's family, whom I love, and she gets to spend time with my family. And it's something to just be very grateful for.
I'm noticing at Christmas this year that people are not as materialistic. Have you noticed that? There's a
Yeah.
shift in the way people are treating each other and things that they want to do, where before it's like bye. You know?
Right.
Now it's like I just want to be with my family. And you know, my mom, she's like, I'm gonna Venmo you some money, and I'm like, you know how to Venmo now? Yeah, and I'm like, well, you're rich now? What? She's like, I don't spend money anymore because I don't go out, so now I have money.
That's
Well,
nice.
Yeah, Asian parents are like that. They're like,
Yeah.
give you money. And
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
you know, if you give them stuff, you just give them money. That's all they want is money.
Well, my parents will not take money from me. You know, Indian parents do not take money from their kids usually.
Yeah,
So-
it's you have to do it the right way, right? Because you can't just because it affects their emotion.
Psyche, yeah.
Yeah, their pride, and so you have to do it
Right.
the way. Like, you know, like if it's their birthday, okay, it's kind of acceptable, but I don't know how to do it, but you have this way of giving it to them that you're not giving it to them, or else they're all like, I'm your parent, I should give to you, you shouldn't give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta
exactly.
be sneaky.
Yeah.
Like you'll take them to
Yeah.
dinner and then you'll fight them real hard on the bill.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what I've seen my parents do to my grandparents. Same
Or
thing.
you do it like, this is giving back to what you gave me.
Yes.
I'm paying it forward, so
Right. Or you go, oh, can you save it for me? Because I'm
Yeah.
such a bad saver.
right, there you go.
And when I need it someday, you can give it back. Yeah, that's what I have to
That's
do.
clever.
Smart.
And they're like, okay, let me put it under my mattress for you. No, when I visited my mom, right? And then every time I visit, she's like, okay, let me show you where I put all my jewelry and all my money. She'll walk me out, and each time I visit, it's some different place. Like, I'm not going there. Like, how about getting a safe, mother? You know?
You know,
Oh,
and there are
man.
parts of India where they have maybe I shouldn't be talking about it on a show. But yeah, I mean, that's why we have a lot of burglaries in Asian homes here.
Yeah. So now my mom puts it in a safe now, but she still stashes stuff, which I will never remember where it is.
Yeah, and she remembers. That's what's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. But you got to parents, right? Yep.
Yeah.
This has been a super fun show with you guys, and I'm wondering if maybe we can end our live stream soon. Just
Yeah, and
say
we
goodbye.
should let our audience know. Is next week Christmas week?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we have
Yeah.
a really special Christmas edition.
23rd.
Yep, Christmas
I like the
edition
music.
of Medi-Veggie. We will feature artists performing, 3 artists. So it'll be super fun. So people have to sign
great.
up, join. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're gonna have one special surprise, but I think only a few
Ooh.
people on this call know. So,
Ooh, okay.
but I know we're all bursting. We really
Yes!
want to say it. But
I want to know what the surprise is. Maybe it's all about me,
of course, Trami.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining Medi-Veggie today. We'll see you
Thank
next
you all.
Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. Right? And
Yeah.
Thanks,
we'll
Marcos,
share
for
some.
tuning in and sharing.
Yeah, we'll share some contact information for all of us in the chat today. I think Esther is going to do that. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right.
Great rest of your week.
Bye.
Oh, I wanted to thank everybody who subscribed to my YouTube channel. Like within 24 hours, my subscription grew multifold, and I'm so grateful.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look
I'll
for it.
have to subscribe to you.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Right.
And subscribe to
Will.
right?
That
2 birds,
too.
1 stone.
Mhm.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.